I'm Chad, and I'm a recovering heroin addict. My first drug that I started with was alcohol. When I was about 14 or 15, in turn with that came use of marijuana. As soon as I turned 18 and moved out of my house, then I pretty much just went all out. I started drinking like 5 nights a week, started Vicodin pills and ecstasy and cocaine, but my favorite was always the opiate pills. First got introduced to heroin through a couple people that I knew that I used to work with. I thought that I was going to try it one time and one time only. Started an endless cycle of addiction and using and stealing. Whenever I first got completely sucked in was whenever I first used a needle. As soon as I used a needle and I found that I could inject drugs, then it pretty much just threw my whole life out of control. I couldn't get enough. I love the feeling. I couldn't just never get enough of that feeling at all. I just was constantly looking for that means to escape reality and life. As soon as I started that is whenever I started stealing from my parents, from my friends, from stores, businesses, trying to write bad checks. After that first use with IV heroin, I was constantly trying to find that same kind of relief, that same kind of high, and it never happened. I tried hiding my use from everyone around me. I wouldn't let people in close to me out of fear that they would find out what exactly I'm doing. I avoided them, not only physically, but emotionally. I just stopped getting in touch with them. My friend, I stopped going out and hanging out with them because I was so scared to have them find out this secret part of my life and have that taken away from me, because I didn't know how to live a life without drugs, and I didn't want anything to interfere with that. I was in rehab maybe 6 or 7 different times, and pretty much all of those times I kind of forced into it through my family, mainly just out of wanting to give them some peace of mind, or if they gave me an ultimatum or anything like that. It was mainly to please other people. It wasn't for me to personally be clean. I went into rehab thinking I'm going to control my usage now. I can do it on the weekends only. I can just use every other drug, but not my drug of choice, heroin. And it never worked. And one time I did try to be abstinent from all drugs, but I didn't want to work a life of recovery. And I wasn't going to any meetings or talking to a counselor, to where I just pretty much white-knuckled it. After the first month, it was completely miserable. I went into a cycle of depression and anxiety, and I just kept withdrawing physically and emotionally all over again. And in that void, I just absolutely hated myself and got back in that cycle of self-loathing. Even after that, I ended up relapsing. Fortunately, now I have the legal system to help guide me to be clean, but whenever I had some time sitting in jail, I actually finally had the full willingness to abstain from all drugs, not just alcohol, but everything, to actually change everything about my life so that I can actually be a productive member of society and actually help other addicts and help other people around me in any way that I can. My clean date is November 19th of 2015, so I will have 9 months clean on August 19th. The biggest fear with heroin right now is just how many lives is going to be affected. We don't realize it when we're in active addiction, but there's so many people that are actually injured and affected, and it just hurts so many people, and so many addicts end up dying on a daily basis from heroin overdoses. And if there's any parents out there where their sons or daughters are struggling with heroin use, they know that it's not your fault. My upbringing, my parents raised me right in every single way, and I still ended up being a heroin addict, so don't do any self-blaming. I say just don't lose hope on them, because there still is hope. Just try to talk to them, try to get them into a treatment center, try to get them to talk to other recovering addicts so they have someone that they can relate to, someone that they can talk to about their experiences, someone that actually understands. If you're struggling with heroin use right now, I can say that there is a way out, no matter how low the chances seem for that, because I was in that cycle as well. I didn't think there was any means of escape. During my addiction, I embraced the fact that I was going to die an addict. I actually even tried to commit suicide on a couple occasions because I didn't think that I could make it out of that hole, and I thought I'd be doing everyone a favor. It was just denial of wanting to face my demons and actually get over this thing and actually battle this and actually have a life to live. If you go out there and talk to other recovering addicts, you'll find that you're not alone in this struggle. Pretty much we've all been where you're at right now, and there is a means of happiness, and they actually can escape the deep dark hole that you're in. There's always a little bit of hope, even though that hope might not be shining too bright today.